Leave me a comment if you believe that that's what you should do. If you have any belief that anyone can come forward on social media and tell you what you're trying to learn is not right for you, tell me if you have given permission for anybody to do that, you say so right now. If you don't give anybody permission, then say so too. Say, fuck no, no one's convincing me that this ain't right for me. I am in the right now, right place, and I'm listening to the person that's teaching me correctly for free, and I can see it happening on my own. I don't need anybody else to help me be convinced of it. I can see it happening. You know people that's already doing it with real money. They're bringing the receipts constantly. You should be encouraged. It's astonishing to me. I wish this was available back when I was learning how to trade. The ability to be around other people doing it, not just the guy talking about it. Because if it was just me doing it and nobody else was ever able to replicate it, if they couldn't get in those trades that I outlined, and every individual mentorship I've given an approach to trading, a model, individual, unique of itself, I could do that every fucking day for years, and the models would never, ever overlap. Try that one on for size. Telling you, I don't ever run out of fucking shit. I got stuff that you ain't never seen before. But I have to pick and curate the ones that I believe that takes the least amount of effort, that's visually spots the setups that you can see it easily. It's not as obscure as some of the other ones I have. So as a teacher, I try to present these things for my kids because I know if I was asked, at gunpoint, which one's the easiest one? Fuck the rest of your shit in ICT. What is it? It's the ones I produced and shared openly and publicly. They're the easiest ones. I have extremely articulate models that are all going to be automated, really. They're buying and selling all day long. All day long, baby. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And they're capitalizing on every minor fluctuation between a 1 minute and 15-second chart. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You'll never see that. I'll never divulge that, and I'll never share it with anybody. You don't need that. What I've already shared is enough. I've given you the first presented fair value gap of the 9:30 to 10 o'clock. That is absolutely the death nail in retail. That's it. It's over for all of you now. None of your shit's going to be able to live up to that. None of it. They can't hide it from you. How are they going to hide that first fair value gap from you? They're not going to. Does your chart ever change in the later part of the day? Whatever the 1 minute charts we're doing in the first 30 minutes, have you ever noticed that they're different later on in the day? Fuck no, they're not different. They're the same fucking candlesticks. So they're not hiding it from you. They cannot hide it from you. It's impossible. You're worried about the shit that doesn't matter. And that just proves you're an infant in this. And I can't help but get pissed off and animated when I see the same questions or the questions that I just addressed and answered in the same live stream just on Friday. Could you tell me about the first presented fair value gap and when can you use it? What the fuck? Dude, I just taught that. I just taught it. This proves that you're not taking notes. You're not even paying attention. And that video is only an hour. It's nuts. And this is the same shit that people that paid me to be mentored, they would say the same shit. I would teach a lesson. Prove it in the price action. And they'd say, could you teach me about so-and-so, so-and-so? What the fuck did you just not watch? What did you just see? What were you watching? The fucking Flintstones? Literally, I just did this very thing. You don't show me your notes. Well, I didn't take any notes. What the fuck was you doing the time that lecture was on? But you want to be a consistently profitable trader. You think that you're going to be with that bullshit, with that method of engaging and studying, you think that that's appropriate, that you're going to somehow beat the smartest people in the fucking world in these financial markets with that level of give a fuck because it's too low. You aren't putting out enough. You're not putting into this what's required. If you're not really diligent about taking notes and writing down questions that come up in mind when you're watching lectures, because they're going to get answered in the next future ones. That's how it works. If you're not willing to do that, stop wasting your fucking time here. Go watch somebody else. because I'm teaching winners. I'm making millionaires. I am not trading, and I'm not trading. I'm not producing traders that just go out here and play Mickey Mouse in funded accounts, getting a payout here and there. I'm making fucking millionaires. If you're not trying to be a millionaire, you're in the wrong fucking clubhouse. Get the fuck out of here. Mickey Mouse ain't here. This is the real shit. This is the real shit. This is how the markets book. This is what will beat everybody else's shit. And I'm proving it. I'm laying it out there all the time. The gauntlet's always fucking laid down, and not one Charlie fucking Brown comes here. Not one motherfucker does it. Why? Because they abso-fucking-lutely know that I would nail their fucking ass to the wall, leaving them broke, hanging there, naked and fucking ashamed. That's exactly what the fuck would happen. And they know it. Nobody in their right fucking mind that couldn't do what I'm able to fucking do would got here and bark as much as I fucking bark and watch everybody have their Velcro balls drop the fuck off in public. That's exactly what happens all the time. Who the fuck's Alpha? Where the fuck is he at? You're listening to him. You're fucking listening to him. And every single one of you can have that same fucking energy, knowing that ain't a motherfucker can step to you. No one can outtrade you. No one can come touch anything that you can do. You can outperform every fucking body. I've given those skills to you. They're all in that YouTube channel right fucking now. What are you doing with it? Are you Netflix and chilling with fucking ICT? Because if that's what you're doing, you're not doing it right. You gotta have a fucking pencil and a fucking pad that you're writing down shit. And that first time you wrote those notes, that's just your first draft. You need to spend time with that for a week and go back over that and think, okay, was there anything else that I just didn't pick up on, but now it's in second thought about it. Let me go into these notes and see, yeah, I think I understand what he was doing now. Then that final draft, that goes into your real study journal. That's the one that you treasure. That's the one you put a little bit of money behind, not these little Mead notebooks. They're good for initial draft notes. But just simply scribbling down whatever I said, that's not taking notes. What I'm saying, how does that resonate with you? When I say the first presented fair value gap between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, that's important because that inefficiency will be used in the future, not just today. What does that mean? How can I prove that? What am I going to do now when I'm done watching this lecture that I can go out there and start looking for what he means by that? I need to test that theory. I don't want to take his word for it. What are you doing with it? Because if you're just simply writing down the notes and then waiting for the next lecture or watching the next video that's in the stream or on the playlist, you're not doing it right. Unless you're going into your charts looking for the very things that I'm describing, you're not going to have that hook in your jaw that keeps you at it. You're going to be looking for the next thing I talk about, the next little buzzword, the next little thing, these little interesting, shiny object syndrome. I'm going to flash something in front of you, and you're going to forget everything else you've been introduced to, but never done any work to make yourself understanding that better. The difference between you and the people that are my students that are making money is they didn't fuck around. They took notes, they dug into the charts, and they saw it for themselves. They logged their own examples. They recorded it, and they annotated it. That's back testing. That is not sitting there watching market replay paint the fucking candles. Back testing is simply looking at the old charts that's static. Market replay is not going to teach you shit. It's not going to teach you anything. That price, when that candle is creating, it's only two changes. When it first prints, and then it does the final settlement. The next candle opens up, gives you first print. It's not even really the first print. It's a little bit of movement on the price action candlestick, and then boom, it gives you the next one at the settlement. That is not how you learn how to read price action. If you are using market replay, you are stunting your growth. If you're listening to mentors that only teach through market replay, you are wasting your fucking time and your money. These clowns don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because if they knew what they were doing, they'd be in a live stream setting, calling the individual market, trading the individual market, calling it with a stop loss that's fucking ultra tight and tell you straight up this is what it's going to do and watch it happen. That's what they would be doing. But they don't do that shit because it's unsafe for their business model because they need more money coming in monthly fucking payments. Sorry, Jack. But that shit just doesn't work anymore. You got to be out here doing it. If you're not a fucking doer, you're a screwer. And you're screwing over the fucking people that's paying you, and you can't prove that you know something. If you're going to monetize it, you better damn well be able to fucking do it. If you can't fucking do it, I'm the sounding board you bounce everybody off of because I'll out-trade every fucking one of them and have fun fucking doing it. It's closing fucking time, motherfuckers. It's closing time. Or it's time for you to step up and say, you know what? You're right, ICT. I'm going to do that. It's the least I could do For my own image, my own brand, let me go out there and set myself apart from the rest of these yahoos. How many are doing that? How many are going to be doing that this week or in the future soon? They're not. They're fucking not doing that. But they're going to stay in market replay. They're going to stay in hindsight discussions and examples where it's safe. That's a sandbox. There's appropriate times for that, yes. But at some point, and the point is we're at now, we're at the point of no return. Nobody else can now stand out there and teach from a hindsight perspective. That shit's gone. The golden era of milking subscribers is fucking gone. You earn your fucking money. You earn it. You prove that you can do it. You prove that you're a mentor. Because if you're not able to do it in your own hands, you ain't a fucking mentor. You are a fraud. You are a con artist. You're a fucking faker. You're a poser boy. That hurt your feelings? You're right now creating sock puppet accounts so you can say some shit about me? Go ahead. You ain't changing the fact that I'm proving it. You ain't changing the fact that I'm making millionaire students. Hello. Somebody just leaned over and said, damn, this motherfucker's on fire today. Yep. I would have had a whole lot more energy yesterday. I was ready to go. I'm a little tired today, to be honest with you. It might not seem like it, but I am. I'm a little tired. Might be my age. 52 is kicking in, isn't it? But that's why you lose, and that's the secrets of how the market makers operate and deliver price. And there's other subtleties that I'll teach and have already taught for real on my YouTube channel. And it's important for you to be organized with your note taking. Anytime that you have something that comes up as a concern or that you hear me say something, your notes should have the title of the video or lecture and the minute marker where that question was anchored to. Like what I said, you should write what I said that causes you concern, doubt, or a question about it. So that way you can go back when you think you figured out what that question was when you go through at the end of the week or you reflect in the previous month. How often are you going back to your old journal entries? Because it's not one and done, forget about it. Like you got to go back and see, oh yeah, I remember I had that question, but I stopped worrying about that because he keeps producing new content. It's easy to get lost in the minutia. It's really easy to get bogged down with this. So it's a lot. Like it's a lot. I'm condensing a PhD amount of time that you would go through college courses to get a PhD. I'm compressing all that stuff down into a very small lecture. And that's why it feels like drinking from a fire hose. It'll rip your fucking face off. And it's like, this is too complicated. It's not complicated. It's a lot of stuff that you have to manage, but I'm telling you how to manage it and how to go through it appropriately. Slow, modularly, and give yourself the real effort to see yourself succeed in that. And don't listen to outside influences. And if that makes it feel like you're a part of a cult, great. It's a private club. They're not invited. Everybody else can talk shit. That doesn't change anything. When you're making money and you quit your fucking job and you're able to pay for a house with cash and it doesn't change anything because you know you can make that same amount of money in another 4 weeks, who's going to give a fuck about anybody else's opinion about me or you? You're not going to care about that stuff. You're going to be too busy living. You're going to be too busy enjoying your life, period. And that's what this is about. It's not about worshiping me. It's not about hanging on by every thread of what I say, because this is all going to stop soon. Okay, I'm not going to be making videos. I want to go back to what I was doing over the summer. I want to just relax, and I enjoyed it. But I love teaching, and when I feel that I've given my son Caleb enough, I'll stop until he gets to the point where he needs more. Then I'll do some more. But I don't want to keep doing this. That's not what I'm here for. I don't care to keep doing this. Like I've already taught. I've made profitable students. I've left a legacy of lifetime understanding on that YouTube channel. And I'm here talking to you right now, not monetized at all. I'm not making any money, and I'm giving permission for people to take these and put them on their own YouTube channel. That's a gift. That's me being who I am. And my only inspiration outside of my own sons and my daughter ever learning how to do this is that anybody that would put their nose to the grind about trying to learn how to tilt it as well, that they listen to the person that created it. Listen to the person that authored it. You're going to get the subtle nuances that you won't get from 5-minute trainers selling my shit for $5,000 when I didn't even sell my own shit for $5,000. That's teaching it correctly, not incorrectly. And you don't have to pay for it. And you have the resources on a YouTube channel you can always tap into. You can leave little notes on the video, and no one else sees it but you, because I have every one of my comments set to hold for review. That means that you can comment to me, I can see it. As long as it's not a rude remark or anything like that, it'll stay there and you'll see it on your end. But it'll look like nobody else has commented but you. That means you can use these videos as your own little study journal and leave little minute markers. So that way, if you want to go back to that video, you say, oh yeah, there's where I was with that. Let me just boom. Or if you get to a part where you got to only a percentage of the video, you couldn't complete it, just put down the minute marker, you stop that, and put that number in the comment section. And then when you go back to that comment, if you click it, it'll take you right to that minute marker, and you can pick up where you left off at. I'm not going to delete it. It's not bothering me. So you'll see it. Nobody else gets to see it, and you can manage your progress through each one of the mentorship playlists or videos. Like, I've made it as easy as I could and for free. I'm not going to delete the videos. I'm not going to take them down. I'm not doing a future paid mentorship, so there's no reason for you to be, well, I'm going to go and wait for his next paid mentorship. There is no paid mentorship. I don't want to do that. Like, it's too much to worry about all that shit. And whatever I taught there would just get leaked. So I might as well just keep doing everything public. So everybody has the same thing and nobody needs to pay for nothing. Stop buying my stuff because it's already on the YouTube channel. You're stupid if you're paying for it. So, and you can't buy your way into my private mentorship because the charter members that are there, they are part of a community that will never increase. I am able to talk to these people because they know my stuff. I'm not always talking about markets. Sometimes I'll talk about weird shit in the world and stuff, and I just don't want those perspectives out in the world, in circulation. Like, I feel comfortable and I feel safe in that community talking about those things. But you don't deserve to be there. You can't pay to be there, and it's not what you think. Once in a blue moon, I'll go in there and I'll call the market and call it out loud, and we trade it. But it's not happening as a steady diet. So there's nearly no inspiration for you to want to do it. It's just a safe place for me to talk to students that I can trust. They understand what I'm saying. Versus if I say something like on a Twitter space, who knows how it's going to be interpreted? If I say it on my YouTube channel, who knows how it's going to be interpreted? But they've been spending enough time with me. They know who I am. They know my personality. They know what my concerns are for them as the community. And I believe that this year, when we finally complete the last presentation for the 2024 mentorship, that you will be equipped with information and procedures that will allow you to go out there and find what you're looking for efficiently and faster than you probably were afraid it was going to take. But for some of you that don't get there as fast as you want it to happen, the best advice I can give you is just don't stop. It's easy to let the problems of the world right now, because everything's expensive, everything is scary and stressful, and it's hard right now. The only thing you're going to do is prolong the amount of time it's going to take for you to get to that by panicking or trying to rush through it. I promise you that if you just relax and let it just be a hobby and fun to study, make that a pastime. When you're backtesting, put some music on, something that you like listening to, and study. Just relax and find pleasure in looking for these repeating things that happen in price action. And then you do your annotations and journal them all up, and then put them in your place where you save all that. I don't know what that would be, but however you save it, there it is. For some of you, it could be PowerPoint. Others, it could be, I don't know the name of that little thing that they sold. I can't recall what it was, but it was a nice little, it's notation. I don't know. It sounds like it's right, but it probably isn't, but it's something like that, where one of the female students of mine, she was actually journaling all of her stuff with that, and I thought it was actually neat. But it has to be something you can search. My journals, I've been doing it for such a long time. I don't have the ability to do search, and that's the only thing I wish I could have done for that. That reason alone is for so I can search something by keyword and find the journal entry. Like if I want to go back and look at crude oil trades I did in the 90s, it would be able to sort out all the trades I did with the crude oil, and I could find the one I'm thinking of by memory, but I can't recall by date. If you do things electronically, you'll have the benefit of doing that. If you're like me, where it's high touch over high tech, I'm limited in my ability to scan and search for things and go right to it. But I'm not I'm not constantly going back into my journals. You are a developing student, so that's advantageous for you to have that resource. And going forward, when you have years and years of it behind you, you'll still have that added benefit that I don't have as a mentor with journals. Mine's all written out with pen. But anyway, I enjoyed spending some time with you today. I talked about some things that hopefully will help you go forward this week. And I want to leave you with a couple questions. That way you go forward with these in mind. I want you to think about how you feel about the day before it starts trading. What you think it's going to do. Is it going to be an up close day? It's going to be a down close day. And you're not trying to predict the closing price. You're just writing down what you think about the day. And then I want you to write down why you believe what you believe. I want you to write down how you think that the session that ends the morning session. Okay, so we'll call it 11:30 to 12 o'clock in that 30-minute interval. You want to be simple, do it like I told Caleb. 11:30 is the end of your morning session. So at 11:30, will the closing price that makes the 11:30 1-minute candle be higher than the 9:30 opening price or below it? I want you to ask yourself what you think that's going to occur. You have to determine that at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, the opening range completes. Now you have 30 minutes behind you. Are we going to close higher at 11:30's 1-minute candle than the 9:30 opening price or lower? And why you think that's going to be the case. And I want you to do the same thing for if you have an interest in the PM session. If you never want to be trading the PM session, then don't do this. But if you want to do it for extra credit and just as a process of improving your ability to anticipate price action, you're going to be doing the same thing. At 1:30, that starts the PM session. Between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, in that 30-minute interval, I want you to think about, are you going to see the opening price at 2 o'clock on that 1-minute candle at 2 o'clock Eastern time? Are we going to close at 4 o'clock above that price or below? And how and why you came to that conclusion. And I want you to do that every single day this week. And then we'll talk about that next weekend. Until I talk to you tomorrow in live stream on YouTube. I will be live streaming at 9:20-ish, something like that, a couple minutes before 9:30. Until I talk to you then, Lord willing, be safe.